Hey y'all, so what is up? I would like to introduce you to some scraggly hair. So this is a client of mine that I've had for a very long time, probably one of my longest standing clients, and she hasn't seen me in a year. So we've got serious split end action going on. I'm doing a basic perimeter cut. We have chatted about doing a balayage where it's her natural blended down to about like a level 7, blended into a level 9 if possible. She has some previous permanent color from where we've done gray coverage on her ends, and we're trying to see if we can lift through that band. So I'm starting off with some lightener. I'm going to do an ounce because I want to remix every time that I run out so that I have fresh lightener, nice and active. I am going in with 20 volume, and I'm sectioning that I normally do for a blended balayage look. I do 2 V's on each side and then 1 across, which you'll see in just a minute. I know her hair. She has curly, wavy hair, and it tends to be on the drier side. So she recently has started sleeping on a satin pillowcase like I suggested so we can avoid friction damage. But, not every blonde is safe, especially after not coming back for a year getting regular maintenance trims. But I like to give her dimension without making her ends completely solid. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a Teasy lage with some foiling. I did like a medium weave. It's my favorite pattern. It always looks really good and blendy. I always go in starting from the middle. I paint down to get the hair stuck to the foil, and then I brush upwards. I'm using this big brush that's like a paintbrush almost, and I really enjoy it for whenever I'm doing lots of blended sectioning. The tease helps a lot with blending, and we're also going to go in and color her roots because she does have some grays. So yeah, that's my first foil. I'm going to continue to foil all the way up the head, and I'll catch back with you. Hi bestie, I'm back. So I'm doing this horizontal section to kind of cover some of this ground in between these 2 V's that I get once I do 2 sections back to back. This I feel like leaves some nice depth in between while also giving like a blended moment to get rid of some of the emptiness that would be there if I just left this alone. I always tend to go a little bit heavier on this section since it is right in the middle, and there is so much hair being left out. She has a lot of little tiny short hairs from losing some hair, and now she's growing it back. So I'm pushing those out of the way, and then I place my foil, and then I like to push the hairs out of the way again, just to make sure I'm not catching any of them, creating little like blonde loops. And I'm going to paint as I normally do, and then close this foil up and continue up the head until I get to where her hair naturally splits. Here we are, the Great Divide. Her hair has this part that goes from the side of her head all the way down and back the middle of her head. It's a little bit crazy, but her hair's always been like this. So what I'm doing here is just making sure that I'm taking care to grab those two edge sections that I know are going to show whenever her hair inevitably splits and doesn't sit all the way pushed backwards like I would love for it to. And I'm just making sure that I'm grabbing those pieces. I also did it with the section above that, and then I'm going to move to the side. I'm really just doing horizontal sections across here. I should have gone a little bit more of a diagonal to give a little bit more of a blendy moment, but I thought that if I went horizontal, it would give more coverage without having to do too many more foils. But I should have gone slightly at a diagonal, possibly just like with the hairline, to help mitigate harsher lines. Because I did do a root on top of all of this after I finished her foiling, there wasn't any unblended lines, but I could have done a better job of making sure to go at more of an angle. I love me a horizontal placement because it does give so much full coverage, but horizontal is not always the best answer for every situation. Now, I wanted to show how recently I started placing foils instead of long ways, like instead of hot dog style, hamburger style. I do this whenever my section is super wide. I only use these from our silver foils, so I almost never have any other big foil. So this has been helping me a lot to be able to do less sectioning, less foiling, saving time. I think this foil took me like maybe an hour overall, which is, I mean, I feel like that's pretty quick for the amount of detail that I went into. But here I am, big thumbs up. Now I'm gonna go mix up her color. I thought about shades EQing her roots, but her grays are really stubborn and I wanted a more full coverage color, and I know that she's going to fade out. Oh, hey Sid! I know she's gonna fade out pretty quickly because she does wash her hair in hotter water, and like I said, her grays are very stubborn. So I went through and I colored all the roots, all the teas. I opened up some foils, colored in, make sure it was nice and blended. That's like the all-star word of this episode, blended. After I washed and brushed out all of her teas, I mixed up some shades. I did some 7NW with a tidge of 7V because she had a little bit of a warm band. And then I did that for her mids with some gloss to gel. And then for her ends, I just did straight 9GI. And I'm blending the mid color on the palm of my hand. And then I'm flipping my hand over and blending the 9GI on the back of my hand. Just to help create like a seamless blend without having to wipe off constantly. It makes the process go a little bit faster. That sounded real country. Faster. Me and my clients like to cut up, especially this girly right here. Me and this girly pop, I've known her since she was very young. She was with me back in my days when I did an ombre that was not legally allowed to be called an ombre. It was so bad. I felt so bad for her. But here I am, I'm swapping to the other side, and I did this fun little technique with like the top of the hair, since I'm doing like a mid and then an end color. I just kind of, instead of weaving or anything, just to give like a more pop of variation in my different colors, I'm going in and I'm grabbing one section, painting that, and then I'm gonna move forward towards the face and grab that section, color that at a different height so that it's not all one harsh line or it's not too bold. It gives it like a seamless look. I'm just a chatty Cathy today because here we are, another segment of me talking. I just have fun with it, you know? Anyways, so I'm starting her haircut. I'm going in and fixing the perimeter because one side was still shorter than the other since I pulled everything to the back and cut it and then just kind of went around without double checking. So I have to take off another like 1.5 inches, which she loves her long hair, but we needed the cut. So I'm going in, cutting the perimeter again, and then I'm going to go in and do some layering, some face framing, doing like some longer face framing. She doesn't want anything too short. And I'm checking my lines and everything. And she pulls up her picture and she's like, this is what we want. This is our idea. So I'm going in and pulling the hair straight up from the head, and I'm cutting, and then I make my sectioning all around the head. And I'll go in at the end and check and make sure everything's even. Look at that blend. Ugh. She has her dark natural level 5 into a 7, into like an 8.5, 9. Because of some of the mixing of my mids toner to her ends, it, blends in. It helped it to where it wasn't super harsh, but I mean, this is pretty spot on to her picture. This small example of straight to curly goes to show you that pictures can change the look, lighting can change the look. Nonetheless, it was gorge. We loved her. She loved it a ton, and I'm so happy I got to do this for her birthday weekend. Happy birthday, sis. Love you tons. Bye.